So let's stretch these muscles out. Come down to your mat. I like to use a yoga strap, and if you don't have a strap, you can use even just a rolled up towel, a scarf, a belt, but grab something like that. And then it's really going to be helpful, especially with tighter hips and shoulders. These blocks are a cyclist's best friend, yogi's best friend. If you don't have blocks, you could use 2 sturdy water jugs. You could use a couple of books on their side that are thick. See if you've got something around the house that you can grab to use for the purpose of bringing the floor a little closer to you. All right, so we are going to start on our knees. And take your knees wide and stretch your arms out long in front of you. We're going to bring the block underneath the forehead. And if you don't have a block, you could stack your fists. But we want a little pressure on the point between your 2 eyebrows. In yoga terms, we refer to this as the third eye, this place of wisdom and intuition. If you travel to India, you'll see people with a bindi dot there on the forehead, just kind of pointing to this wise place. Take a moment. Just feel this gentle pressure here on the head and just this settling. Breathe into your belly. We'll just transition from wherever you've been, what you've been doing, to this. And then start to make your way up onto all fours. And you can just stack your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, and start to arch your back. So cyclists spend a lot of time with their backs rounded. So we're going to do the opposite now. Pull your shoulder blades onto your back, push your chest forward, lift your hips, let your belly sag down just a little bit. You can point your toes back or tuck your toes under. It just depends on what you want to feel in your feet. And yoga works a lot better with bare feet. So if you can have bare feet, I encourage that. Exhale, round your spine, come into cat. Stretch between your shoulders. And then come to a neutral spine. Let's take our right foot forward, and you can help it come forward if you need to. And we'll begin with a stretch for our left hip flexor. So this is the first place you might want to use blocks or something on either side of you that you can just help yourself be upright with. And just let your hips sink forward. If you feel any pressure in your low back, just lift up out of your low back. Try not to dump or pinch into the muscles of your back. We're just going to be patient here. We're going to hold these stretches a little bit longer than you might think you should. Muscles need time, especially with all the work. So as a cyclist, it's easy to get impatient. Cyclists want to get from point A to point B. In yoga, we stay at point A. So if you're using blocks, you could just kind of test the waters and see if it feels good to go a little lower. That changes the sensation. Just explore. Tuck your back toes under and lift that knee off the floor. And then come up onto your fingertips so that you can lift your torso and just come all the way forward onto your tippy toes and back. Press into that heel. Forward and back. So now you're starting to stretch through your calves, your Achilles tendons, as well as that hip flexor. then settle that knee back down onto the floor. Bring your blocks up high once again, and then shift your weight back. Pull your toes back, walk the blocks forward so you kind of have to reach and start to feel something happening in the back of that front leg. And again, you can just explore changing the height of your blocks. Take deep breaths. Just trusting the process as these muscles slowly begin to trust that they can release, they can let go. It's okay to not be contracted and working. We'll get back to hamstrings in a bit. So shift forward, tuck the back toes under, lift the knee. And then place the left block on its lowest side. You can lose the right for just a moment. Bring your right hand to your right thigh and press so that your shoulders start to twist open. You can stay there in a twist, or you can reach that arm up overhead. We're starting to open into the chest. We've got 3 major targets in this 30-minute flow: hip flexors, hamstrings, and chest. So that's the first look at opening through the chest. It might even feel good to bring your hand to the back of your head and just kind of twist open there. Let your breath explore the parts of your body that are feeling this twist. And release back down. Drop the knee, and we're just going to switch. Nothing fancy here, no creative choreography. Drop your hips back over your heels, just wiggle around side to side, feel what you feel there, and then we'll come up tabletop and we'll switch legs. So using the blocks if that seemed like a good idea, and letting the hips sink just a bit. Now that you know you've seen these basic stretches, close your eyes and feel. Feel your body slowing down. We'll be here for several breaths, so if you'd like to explore the height of the blocks changing, go ahead and do that. So inside the muscle fibers are these little sensors called muscle spindles. And it's their job to sense when the muscles are being pulled or forced into too much stretch. And when they sense that, they contract, they hold back. So by holding these poses, by backing off a little, we're teaching our muscles to trust us. As you breathe, bring your attention to that place again between your brows, your place of wisdom, and let there be this union of mind and body. Let your body know that your intention is not to harm, to force, to push, but to heal and open and expand. Your intention is great health and balance and wholeness. And let your body and your mind speak together to create this trust. Tuck the back toes, lift up. You might raise up once again. You always have that choice, and then we'll just shift forward and back. Working into the back heel, the back calf, the Achilles tendon. Just this playful exploration of movement in the body. And then drop that knee once again. Well, I'm going to make my blocks high as I shift back into this hamstring stretch. You can walk your blocks forward or your hands. Just notice that with your hands up on something, there's just a lot more space to move. You're not sinking, you're not dropping down, you just have a lot more space. Deepen your breath. Soften your shoulders. Relax your neck. As we shift forward again, tuck the back toes. We'll keep the right hand on the block, left hand on the thigh, and then just start to stack your shoulders. And you can stay there, or you can lift your arm, or maybe you enjoy that option of hand behind the head twist, elbow lifting high. Just rotate your torso and breathe. And release that. Come back to center, and we're going to walk to the wide edge of our mat. Bring one block with you. And we'll start now to center in on the hamstrings. So flatten out your feet, maybe heel toe just a touch wider. See where you can keep your feet flat. Lengthen through the crown of your head. And then you might want this block tall. We're going to see if we can put the head on something. So go ahead and soften your knees, drop your forehead to the block. And that can happen at any of its levels. We just want to create a little sense of support here. So again, those muscle spindles, the fibers begin to trust us. Our intention is healing, length, space, flexibility, ease. Our intention is not to harm, to push, to force. And as you're here breathing, you might find that you're able to go a little lower. Shoulders are softening. Body is unwinding. Bring your hands to your low back. And if it feels good to you, interlace your fingers and extend your arms. And if that's not really a great idea, grab instead your strap. This is a great use of a strap. And just lifting the arms up here. Keep pressing your feet into the earth. Dropping your head down, lifting your arms up. And deepening your breath. So here we have chest and hamstrings both. Let yourself sigh. Lower your hands to your back, fingertips to the floor, and then just slowly press to a flat back. With a little bit of a weight on your hands, heel toe your feet in just a bit, drop one knee, and then bring yourself around into a seat. We're going to use these blocks underneath the knees for this next sequence. So I promise you, I know you've probably had a million coaches tell you to keep your legs straight. That's only a good idea if you can do so with your weight on the front of your sitting bones. If you straighten your legs and you feel your back round, it's just a nice little option here to put support under your knees. We'll take the block around the band. Too many toys. Take the band around the bottom of your feet. Walk your sitting bones back even more. So you really want to be on the front edge of those sitting bones. And as you pull, lengthen your spine, bring your chest forward. And then you get to test the waters. So the goal is hamstring stretch, not back. And you might notice that if you round down, the stretch draws up into your back. And right now I want us just to focus on hammies. So if you can reach your feet comfortably, go ahead and do that. We're just patient. And if it is easy for you to do this with straighter legs, you're welcome to do that. Just make sure your back stays straight. You're on the front of those sitting bones. For a lot of cyclists, that doesn't happen. So that's why we use these props to stretch hamstrings with the spine long. So breathe deeply, pull your toes back, lengthen your spine. And then let's release the band, come to an upright seat. Cross the right leg over the left leg. And we're working into a twist here. So this is more about the chest and shoulders. So you can use your hand on your knee or your elbow, depends on body parts and lengths. Reach the right arm up and then behind you. Just plant that hand behind you, pull your right shoulder onto your back and breathe. So you probably feel this some in the hip, some in the torso, but see if you can feel it in that chest as that shoulder pulls back. You might want an elbow on the knee to just create a little more leverage. You've got all these choices, and the goal is to feel this through your chest and shoulders. The neck turns to look back. The spine is tall. Breathe in. Twist a little bit more as you breathe out. And make your way back to center. Switching sides. Sit tall, draw your left knee in, cross over the bottom leg, and find again that tall spine so you can hold with a hand or an elbow. Reach the left arm straight up and rotate back. The hand is just there for support. Hug the left shoulder blade onto your back. As you breathe here, just feel the space you're creating inside of you. Space between your shoulder blades, space up and down your spine and through your chest. Deep breaths. And unwind back to center, extend both legs. Then let's roll down onto our backs. Keep your blocks handy, keep your strap handy. And as you come down onto your back, bend your knees. Roll your shoulder blades around on the earth just a little bit. And then we'll take the right knee into the chest and we'll place the strap around the bottom of the foot. And we're going to keep this knee a little bit bent. The bottom leg is bent for right now, just to explore a couple of things. So the first thing we're going to do is explore straight and bend. Straight and bent. Noticing that when the leg is bent, you can feel a little more stretch in the top of the hamstring, that hip attachment. And when your leg is straight, a little more sensation in the back of the knee. So we're exploring here the two ends, the origin and the insertion of the hamstrings. And so find a place that feels like you're kind of getting some of both. You feel a little bit in the back of the knee. And as you draw that leg closer, there's a little bit in the upper hamstring as well. Your back is comfortable, shoulders relaxed. Now straighten the bottom leg down to the floor. And as you pull in, if your knee comes off the floor, let this leg come away so that bottom leg can stay flat on the floor. So again, you might need to kind of teeter-totter until you find that perfect place. The perfect bend or straightening of the knee and the perfect location of the leg that keeps your bottom leg heavy and flat. And here we are, hamstrings. Pull your toes down, moving that stretch into the lower leg. Breathe deep. So much to discover here in this amazing machine called the human body. As we release this, bend your bottom leg once again, unloop your foot and create a figure four. I'm going to reach down through that triangle and just pull the bottom leg in. You can either hold your hamstring or in front of the knee, but just give a gentle pull in, moving the stretch up closer to your hip, your piriformis, your rotators. Those take a beating and cycle as well. Placing the left foot on the floor and keeping the figure four, open your arms into a T. Here's where we're going to move into chest again. So let the legs drop over to the left side. You could drop the foot to the top of a block or all the way to the floor. Your ankle is wedged up against the front of that left thigh, shoulder blades on the floor. And now just turn your head to the right. Take really deep breaths as you just feel this. It's somewhat passive, but it's a very effective chest stretch. Think about how rounded your shoulders have been and how easily and readily they fall to the floor now. Just let them be open and learn this new pattern of opening. Bring your head back to neutral. Draw the legs back to center. We'll uncross and place both feet on the earth. Let your arms come back to your sides and just center yourself up here. Drawing the left knee into the chest, we'll scoop the band around our left foot. And we'll just find a place where our arms and shoulders can relax. And let's do that same thing, bend and straighten. It's easy to get in the mindset of we want to get somewhere. But rushing takes away all the benefits of yoga. Yoga just happens in the slowing down. And when I say that, I mean yoga, the definition means to connect, to unite. And the connection happens in the slowing down. The connection of mind and body, connection of breath and movement happens when we slow down. So now find that place, that perfect bend of the knee or not bend of the knee where you feel the whole length of your hamstring on the left side, and then straighten your right leg. Just extend your right leg out. Let it rest on the floor. Let the left leg be heavy as you continue to explore this perfect stretch for your hamstring. And for some of us, it might look like this, out away from us. For some, the knee might be bent. There's no contest going on here, no prizes. Yoga Journal's not showing up today to take your picture. So Your job is to find the perfect place where your right leg is flat on the floor, your shoulders are relaxed, and all you're doing is lengthening your hamstring. That's it. Just paying attention to lengthening the hamstring. And you can pull your toes down, get a little more sensation in the lower leg. Breathing in and out. Bending the left knee, let's bring the foot back to the mat. Releasing the band, we'll take that figure 4, reaching through and just opening through the left outer hip. Notice feeling that new place, new sensation here. Placing the right foot on the floor, extending arms, we'll lower our legs over to the right side. And you're just kind of wedging that foot up against the thigh, turning the head to the left. Exaggerating the breaths now around the chest and the shoulders. It might feel nice to close your eyes, relax your jaw, just breathe, settle. Rotating the head back to center. Let's bring our knees back up, both feet now on the mat. And let your arms come down to your sides. Press your palms into the earth. Press into your feet and roll up into bridge. Again, length across hip flexors, length across the chest. Bend your elbows and press your triceps into the earth, creating a little bigger bridge, and start to walk your elbows underneath you a little bit more. Lower your hands, and if you like, interlace your fingers and take exaggerated breaths into your belly, into your chest, into the front of your shoulders. Make a sigh as you exhale. And slowly release your hands. If you have a block handy, slide it under your hips so that as your hips come down, they rest on top of this block. And you want it away from you a little bit so that it's not digging into your low back. It's more right under your hips. Extend your legs up overhead. If you have that block in the right place and your knees soft, it should feel kind of like you can suspend your legs here without effort. If there is a lot of effort, bend your knees more, maybe hold on to your legs. You don't want shaking legs here. This is called waterfall, and it's just a little inversion of getting blood flow from the feet back up to the upper extremities, the torso, the heart, the brain. Let your belly move with your breath. Flex and point your feet. Circle your ankles. And release your feet to the earth. Let the block come out from underneath you. Bring your hands to the back of your head and just slowly lift your chin up to your chest. Grab your legs and use your legs to help you come to a seat. I'm going to sit on one of my blocks for this last little bit here. So find a place where you can sit comfortably. And we're just going to finish with one more little sequence for the neck. So drop one ear to one shoulder, roll the chin forward, and go the other way. And do that again, just half circles across the chest. And then coming back to neutral. Fingertips on the floor. Turn your palms up open through the chest. Let your hands come behind you a bit. And then inhale, lift. Stretch as tall as you can. Exhale, cactus the arms. Squeeze your shoulders onto your back. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Bow your chin slightly in this gesture of gratitude. Just take a moment here again to just bring your attention to this place inside of you where wisdom resides, and just take a moment in gratitude for the muscles that allow you to be a cyclist, your strong legs, healthy joints, powerful lungs, beating heart, eyes that can see the scenery, a brain that takes it all in and makes it happen. And then just thank yourself for taking time to slow down and stretch these muscles that work so hard for you. I hope this stretching session improves your writing. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.